Welcome to the Very Connected Podcast. I'm going to wait just a moment to get started because I know we got people still jumping on and joining. Tonight's topic I'm really excited about is on meal prep. And I have to say, out of all of the support groups that I've done, this is probably one of my favorite because we have so many resources. So over the past, we've been doing these events now for probably about 2.5 years, maybe getting closer to 3. And we collect a lot of different templates, recipes, all kinds of things. So we're going to be mentioning a lot of those things. I'll be showing you where you can find all these amazing resources as we get started. Make sure and say hello if you're joining us. Let us know where you're at, like if you're in Arizona, if you're in Florida, wherever you're at. And then also if you've had weight loss surgery, if you're getting ready to have weight loss surgery, if you're post-op so far along, if you're a sleeve, if you're a bypass. Love to know a little bit about you all. Hi, Donna. Hi, Erin. Hi, Leisha. So pretty of a name. Samantha, Heather, Monique. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I try to read all the comments as they come in. And I always like for these events to be super interactive and engaging. So if you do have questions as we're talking and joining, I'll try to make a lot of pauses in between just to make sure that you guys, this is for you. And I want any kind of questions you have to be answered. There is a couple things here. There's a Q&A box at the bottom. If you want a question specifically answered, make sure and put it in there. You can put it in the chat, but as we get more and more people joining these calls, sometimes it's easy to miss those. So feel free to chat in the chat box amongst each other. But if you have something specific, like a question you want to present, please make sure and punch it in there. There's a raise your hand feature if you'd like to come on screen with me. Sometimes we do that, so we could always do that. Looks like we are still getting lots of comments. Gosh, we have people from all over. All over. It looks like we have people from Florida, from Michigan, from Portland, from Arkansas, Western Canada. Oh, that's awesome. Oregon, Nebraska, New Hampshire, Illinois, Alberta, Canada. We have California, Indiana. We have Arnold, Missouri. Oh, you're local. So I am from a little town called Perryville, Missouri. Our main office, the ProCare Health office, which is our sponsor, is in St. Peters, Missouri. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Jada's from Georgia. We have Michigan. There is a question here I do want to address right away. It says, pre-op, do we get a certificate? So if you're attending this presentation and your facility gets attendance on these, I send them about a week post this event to make sure that they have your certificate of attendance. If you're not sure, you can ask them if they get attendance. And if you need for me to specifically, if they're not getting it and you need me to send it, I'll give you my email here. I'll type it in the chat box. It is my last name, Hain, Hoehn, my first initial B at ProCare now.com. So if you're listening to, some people may be listening to the replay. I usually wait to try to collect all the replay listeners too. That's why I wait a week. Looks like we also have Montana, Florida, Minnesota, Australia. Oh, that's exciting. Arkansas. And we have people that are a year, 2 years post-op who are getting ready for surgery. So a great mix. This is actually for anybody. This is pre-op, post-op. So we're so glad you're here. Okay. So let's get started. You guys want to get started? Yay. I am going to be sharing my screen on and off. I have a ton of things that I have pulled up. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'll show you what that looks like. First of all, we're going to jump on the ProCare Health website because I want to show you where you can find all these amazing um, amazing resources. So procarenow.com, again, procarenow.com. When you get on the ProCare Health website, there's lots of little tabs here. And so you just go to the tab that says Berry Connected, and there's one that says Support Group Handouts. Hello. Okay. I am gonna page down here. So this support group page, guys, it has tons and tons of resources besides which we're just talking about tonight. So if you could decide to get on there and just kind of move around a little bit, you're welcome to check those out later. I'd say about a quarter of the way down is our meal tips and recipes. And literally there's about 20 of them. So please feel free at any point. I'm gonna be pulling these up and talking about them. But if you want to download them or you want to save them or come back and look at them, that's where they're all going to be. So got all that straightened away. I also just want to mention a shout out to our sponsor, ProCare Health. Right now, you guys, they're offering a Be Our Valentine special. It started on the 13th. Go back here. It started on the 13th and it goes through the 16th, which is tomorrow. So you can actually get free chocolate, calcium dark chocolate with vitamin D. It's one of our patients' favorites. It's seasonal. It's only around in the cooler months, and we're offering that free with a purchase of $50. So basically, you just fill up your cart, and then if your order is $50 or more, you actually get a bag of free chocolate placed inside your cart. So that's kind of cool. I had to mention that first off because sometimes people have to jump off these calls earlier, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew about it because it is a fan favorite. Okay, should we get started? Raise your hand if it's good if we get started. um, it looks like there's a question. Is there sugar in the calcium chocolate? Our It actually is made with a, it's made with cocoa. It does have a little bit of sugar in it. The sugar content is low though. Let me look here real quick. 2 grams of sugar. So it's not real high. It has 65% dark chocolate. It has a little bit of milk chocolate to kind of take that edge off of making it, bittersweet. It has 500 milligrams of calcium and 500 IU of vitamin D. It has cocoa. It's gluten-free. It is lactose-free, kosher, non-GMO. So that is what the bag looks like. And actually, I opened up one of them to show you because people always wonder what they look like. So if you can see me, that's what it looks like. We do have a lot of other calcium flavors. We have not in a chocolate, but in our calcium flavors, I'll pull those up and I'll let you see what those look like too. So, but this is the one on special. They come in like little tiny bars that look like that. Hopefully you can see me because I know I'm full screen with this. As far as products, you can look under this calcium supplements. That's where you can actually find all the other calcium supplements. And we have dinner mint, cinnamon roll, sea salted caramel. We have a mocktails flavor. And kind of scroll down. We also have something called UpCal, which is a flavorless powder that you can mix. And we have single serving sticks for those, or you can buy it in a larger canister. So hopefully I answered your question, Donna. It looks like we had a couple people raise their hand. It looked like Whitney. Hello, Whitney. So glad that you're here. And we had somebody else. Do you guys have a question? Is there something, since you have your hands raised, maybe? See? Several people have their hands raised. Justin, David, Whitney. If you guys do have a question, type it in the Q&A box or the chat box. Or if you want to come on screen, we can definitely, we'll be saving till the end. And if anybody does want to come on screen and talk or have questions, we can always invite you at the latter part. So please let me know. It might have just been an accident too that you had your hand raised. We're going to kind of get started here. So I'm going to go ahead and start our presentation. It looks like Whitney says, yes, I don't know how to order vitamins as the ones I That made me sick. One thing you can do, I would strongly recommend before having to order a lot more to know if you how you're doing with them. Most vitamin companies will offer free uh, I shouldn't say free. They'll offer samples. Our company offers them free. So ProCare, if you're wanting a free sample, if you go to the ProCare website on the main page, you have to click the icon sometimes to bring you back there. This little icon at the top, and then there's a blue bar at the top that says interested in a free sample. Click here, and you click, and you can get a free sample of all kinds of different things. And if there's something specific that you wanted to try, you can list it in the form at the bottom where there's a message. Hopefully that helps you, Whitney. Okay, guys, let's get this party started. So today's topic is meal prep and easy meal planning. And I want to just say, honestly, this is probably one of the most requested. I took a survey October, November, December. It may have even been September. I know it was at least 3 months, and I probably had 400 or 500 responses from that poll. That was you guys. Whenever you were registering for these events, we ask a question, what kind of topics you'd like to see. And this was actually our most requested topic. So part of the reason why we're doing it here, we wanted to make sure and give you. So also, ProCare has something called the Body and Soul campaign, and it's on our website, which I'll jump over there real quick. So under the ProCare Health, there's a tab that says Body and Soul, and when you click onto that, it's going to bring up a bunch of different resources, and just kind of clicking on that so that you can kind of see. But if you're on the replay and you can't see this, or you're just listening to audio, just you can pop on over there and check that out. Anyways, we're doing different affirmations. And this one here for this event is I am relaxed and present in the things I do. So important in our daily life to really be here and with the people that we care about, our community, be open to receive all kinds of great information. And so um, we're going to kind of just move on here. So during this event, this is what we're going to be sharing. 10 simple meal prep and easy meal planning ideas, recipes to help you, and lots of resources. And what I want to say is, guys, you can see probably if you're actually watching this, you'll probably see that I have a ton of tabs pulled up. I'm going to be sharing with you the resources as we go through them. But again, if you need to access those later, they're on our ProCare website under Very Connected. Okay. Okay, it looks like I do have a question, which I'm going to answer because I try to do these as we go as much as I can. Leslie says, when I mentioned that my vitamins were making me sick, you helped me by advising me that I take them at night. Game changer. Thank you. Oh, Leslie, that's amazing. Wonderful. I'm so glad that helped you because um, who's going to take their vitamins if they make them sick? They make them sick. I've been there, done that. I've tried so many different things. I've tried adding them to food. I've tried drinking extra water. By the way, that helps a lot because it helps that dissolve quicker and runs it, kind of pushes it through your system a little quicker, the stomach area. But taking them at night can be a game changer. So that may actually be helpful to someone else. So I appreciate you bringing that up because somebody else might be having problems with nausea in their vitamins too. So why would we want to meal prep? Let's see. What do you guys think? Let type it in your type it in the comment section. Here's some of the things I came up with. Control the portion, save money, eliminate surprises and hidden calories. Notice that your days are easier and more simplified. Establish a healthier relationship with food, and also you feel better about what you're eating. And it becomes more intentional. Gwen says, ensure I've planned for enough protein. Jacqueline says, planning ahead. Robin says, saving money. Amy says, make it easy to do the right thing, the thing I want long term. Yeah, I think probably one of the bigger things for me is making my day easier and making sure I have choices that are there for me. That's what Aaron said, making better choices, because if I don't have the right kinds of foods in front of me, I end up eating whatever is in front of me. Yeah, Krista says not grabbing something convenient, healthier foods. Odessa says healthier foods available. Okay, so here we get started. Meal prep The one of the first suggestions here I have is keep an ongoing reusable shopping list. Now, it doesn't have to be reusable, but I tend to like to have certain things that I use a shopping list for and actually just kind of keep that list running so I don't have to remember. Some things like maybe milk or bread or certain kinds of proteins or certain kinds of like healthy snacks, excuse me, that kind of thing. That always helps me because I don't have to like try to remember. And I keep that shopping list in my kitchen in a specific place where as soon as I think of something that I need, I can run over and put it down. It helps me whenever I get to the grocery store. It saves me time there too. Or you can use the notes section on your smartphone. Sometimes I'll do that as well. And I do have some shopping lists for you. Um, I'm reading Amy's comment. People who have willpower usually just have good systems that make it easy on themselves to avoid doing things they truly don't want. You know, it is true. I hadn't thought about it that way, but you know, I'm a list maker. If it's on my list, I'm gonna do it because I like to check it off. Anybody else like that? I like to have that check. Um, so I'm gonna show you our two shopping lists that we have. One is a fresh post-op shopping list, and one is a maintenance shopping list. Okay, so on the fresh post-op list, we have different categories: clear liquids, full liquids, some pureed foods. We have soft foods, and we have solid foods. Okay, so if you're in that category, either pre-op and doing some type of liquid diet or your fresh post-op, then this list may be helpful. Just kind of gives you some extra ideas. And yes, Samantha, Krista said she's a list person. Samantha says, are these lists available on the website or will you be sending them out following the Zoom? These are all available on the ProCare Health website, procarenow.com, under the tab Very Connected and the support group handouts. Easy to find. Once you get there, you just look under Very Connected and support group handouts. We also have another one. So yes, you could definitely print these out, guys. These are for you guys to use. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Oh my gosh, I got some prepared people here. Maintenance shopping list. Here is one that I love because sometimes I just have a hard time thinking of something new. And I like to kind of make a list out before I go. So this maintenance shopping list has different categories: snacks, meat, poultry, fish, dairy, grains, some spices, some spreads, oils, dressing, some vegetables, some fruit, and toppings and other miscellaneous things. So if this is helpful to you, you can use it for brainstorming or maybe just use it, print it and use it for your shopping list. This can be downloaded, but if you download it, it might be a little difficult to make like little check marks unless you have Adobe or something like that. So, okay. And Gwen says seasonings take on a whole new importance post-op. I agree because I think sometimes adding extra sass to our meats or to our vegetables, to me, it adds a whole new flavor to it. And sometimes, especially since we're not eating a bunch, you can kind of get that big pizzazz right in the beginning. And on our little meal prep, this number one, we have a couple little items here I was going to show you. Um, Make sure you have containers or Ziploc bags or something to put in if you are deciding to meal prep, because a lot of times just having the right kind of containers there can be super helpful. We do have these available on our ProCare website, which is these little protein funnels. The top of it screws off and you can put vitamins and supplements. And then the inside of it is actually made for protein powder. And then it has a little screw top, which you can screw and unscrew. And it is, you can put it on top of a water bottle and kind of take these to go so that you can bring along your vitamins and your protein. And then this little eat me container is microwavable and dishwasher safe. I'll show you where to find that. So on the ProCare Health website, if you go under products and at the very bottom is a little tab called extras. When you click on that, there's a whole different category of fun things there. These two things are some of them. So That's where you find that. Okay. I'm gonna go to number two. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, you're awesome. You're on it. Thank you for helping. She's providing links for you guys. Okay, so here we go on the next piece here. Here's some resources. These all are linked within the PowerPoint when you access it online, but also um, they're also under the place that I told you before. So eating on a budget, it can be really helpful. We did a whole event just on that topic itself, but we took a lot of the notes from that event and we put them on a sheet. I'll be showing you that. The shopping guides, got to move my little bar here, sample meal templates. And then what I like to do whenever getting ready to go grocery shopping, I like to use a little checklist and pick my five favorite foods that I know that I want and maybe five favorite recipes that those come with. Because you know that you're going to have your ingredients and have the favorite foods that you want to use. So I'm going to show you some of these things that I just did. I just showed you this shopping list. So we have both of those. I'm going to go ahead and show you let's see, I'm going to first show you the eating on a budget handout. If you're just listening, just listen in. Just know that this is available. But we have all different kinds of suggestions on there. What the average cost is for a family of two, based on a website, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and just kind of helps you on 10 tips for grocery and meal planning, guys. Okay. If we're talking about a sample meal plan, we have a template for that. You could divide it if you are a 6 meal a person. And what I mean by that is not really necessarily meals, but like little mini either snacks or I guess they could be little meals depending on what you're having. I know early on, whenever I was like really early in the game, for me, if I would only take like right after surgery, especially, I would only take a couple bites of something and be full very quickly. Maybe a lot of you can relate. And so I felt like I was eating more frequently. Um, because I would get full very quickly, but then maybe in an hour, 2 hours, I would feel myself starting to get hungry. And even just one bite or two bites would fill me up again. So if you're in that category, now that I'm a little further out, I had VSG surgery in 2013. And so I'm a little further out now, a little over 10 years. And I tend to not necessarily have to snack as much. Sometimes I do, though. If I get hungry, guys, I eat. So having the right kind of snacks could be, this is just some suggestions. Maybe for breakfast, a breakfast wrap. For a snack, maybe an apple with peanut butter, or maybe even just a half an apple with just a little bit of like a teaspoon of peanut butter instead of 2 tablespoons, which is a serving. You could have some salmon for lunch, sweet potato, maybe snack would be a whole grain pretzels, dinner, maybe a pork tenderloin with asparagus or cauliflower rice, and then another snack, Greek yogurt. So depending on where you're at, these are just ideas. This template also does have a blank one that you can print for yourself if you like having fun. Also, be sure and put in there when you're going to be think about when you're going to be drinking your fluids. You can write it in there, or you could just remember, because it's hard to eat and drink sometimes at the same time, just because it does fill your stomach up if you're drinking, and then it's hard to eat. And then also they say it also washes the food more quickly through your belly, and it can make you hungrier more quickly. The other thing I want to say is if you are taking multivitamins, which are suggested after weight loss surgery, um, separating your bariatric multivitamin by 2 hours from your calcium supplementation. So an example might be starting your day and taking your calcium with vitamin D, maybe at breakfast and lunch and dinner, and then late, right before bedtime, taking your multivitamin. That's just one little way of doing it. Now, another thing here we have is the favorites checklist. Like maybe writing down 5 of your favorite meats, 5 of your favorite dairy, your favorite grains, your favorite vegetables, your favorite fruits, or whatever else you want to do. You don't have to use you don't have to print this, but it just kind of gives you an idea of brainstorming to think of ideas for having foods at your home that you can use and easily have. And then recipes. To me, I have a list on my notes section of my phone where I keep my favorite recipes. And like if I'm wanting to, I know in my head, I already know what's in those recipes because I've made them so many times, but I'll just click on that and I will like decide which ones I want to get whenever I'm grocery shopping. And that's super helpful for me. Okay, that's another resource. So I'm going to stop sharing here for just a second. And I'm going to see if there's any questions. I see one. Crystal says, do you have thoughts on over planning? I find that sometimes I overeat because I'm prepping or packing for my workday more than I need, and I will just eat it because I have it. Meal planning is backfiring a bit, trying more intuitive eating. I say whatever works for you. I get it though. Like whenever I'm doing a lot of that, I almost feel like I have to eat it. For me, what works best, as opposed, some people will take like a full day of meal prepping. Like some of my friends do that. They'll take their Sunday and they'll just cook, and then refrigerate or freeze whatever they're meal prepping. For me, what I tend to do is if I'm making a meal, like last night I made tacos for me and my husband, and they were so delicious. I cut up lettuce, tomato, onion, guacamole, all these things, and basically put them in all separate containers. And then I put it in the refrigerator. So now I have 2 or 3 more meals. So I tend to do things like that. I like overmake, or if I'm making soup, a lot of times, since it's just me and my husband, I'm so used to cooking for a family of 4. Both my kids are out of the house now, though. So I will like make a big pot, but I'll freeze half of it. Or if we're grilling and we're grilling like chicken or hamburgers or whatever, I'll over grill and then I'll keep some in the refrigerator or freeze it. So I hope that answers your question. I understand what you're saying though. Whatever works for you. Anybody else say anything about over planning? Is that a problem for anybody else? Somebody asked, is there an app to keep your recipes on? Yes, actually there are those, and I've done that we did a whole episode on apps. So if you go to our support group handout page, there is actually a whole presentation on apps, and it does include ones that you can keep recipes on. Okay, so go to the ProCare Now website, very connected, and then support group handouts, and there should be a presentation on that there. Okay. Somebody asked, do you like 3-ounce containers? You know what? I have so many different size containers in my pantry. I have 1 ounce, probably 3 ounce, probably 10 ounce. I don't know. And then I have larger ones because, like I said, I tend to overmake meals and then keep them for leftovers because I don't want to have to cook every single meal. So, if you're taking them along though on the go, maybe it's helpful to have a lot of other like smaller sizes, just or have one that has partitions in it. I always like the containers with partitions, so you only have to bring one. Okay. Amy says, Crystal, I feel like it would be the same. It's in the lunchbox. I'll eat it. Okay, Teresa says, can I share this resource with my local bariatrics support group? We have a meeting tonight. Absolutely. Share away. Anything that's on that support group page is yours to use. Please feel free. Okay, let's keep going, guys. And Gwen says, I bought containers for baby food when I was in the early post-op, usually 4 ounces and can be frozen in microwave. Oh, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that. Wonderful. Give each other ideas. Keep it going, guys. Okay, here we go. Number 2. Um, so I have several of these that are, I'm sorry about the little black square or brown square. I don't know how that got on there, but this one is meal prepping meats. Okay. And so just some suggestions that's helped me out a lot is one thing you can do is put the same type of meat on a cooking sheet and divide it by tinfoil and put different kinds of seasonings on it. I tend to like to season mine right whenever I'm taking them out of the oven instead of seasoning them before, but it does add a different dimension of flavor. You could add, barbecue, honey mustard, any kind of seasonings you wanted. And then you could take those portions, let them cool, and you could either refrigerate them in Ziploc bags, or you can put them in your freezer or microwavable bag, or shouldn't say just microwavable, whatever kind of dish that you like to put things in the refrigerator. Some people like glass, but I also like taking them and putting them in like little single servings in my freezer, or putting enough in the freezer for like a meal for me and my husband. Um, so I think, some of the things by doing meat up ahead, you could do baking or grilling. You can actually also purchase pre-cooked or pre-prepared meats. I love getting the rotisserie chicken. That's actually one of my most favorite things to get. Um, and I feel like that is already cooked and it's already seasoned. Sometimes I'll get like the different flavorings, like lemon pepper and different things like that. It looks like Monique says, I tend to buy a lot of frozen foods or grab a bite to go. I'm not a big cooker. Try to figure out how to cook more at home. Yeah, I really like frozen foods. You can actually buy like frozen chicken already cooked, or frozen fish already cooked, or frozen whatever, even if you're not a cooker, because I feel like they're just you just can pop them in the microwave if you're a microwave kind of person, or just pop them in your air fryer or your oven for a short period of time. And I see Tina ask, could you please post the link to the support group site again? Yes, I can certainly do that. I can't do it while I'm sharing screen, but as soon as I stop sharing, I will post it there. Here's a little meal prep idea for me. I like preparing my chicken. I like using Italian dressing a lot of times, and I'll marinate it for an hour or two. You don't have to marinate it for a long period of time, but it kind of just gives it an extra dimension of flavor. I like putting mine on parchment paper because it makes cleanup super easy, and then you just simply bake it, and then you can check your temp. I always check my temperature. Oh, Stephanie is on it, Tina. Thank you so much for doing that. That is so helpful. She's posting the links. Um, is there an app with different recipes? I'm having a hard time finding good meals. So, Billy, I like to use Pinterest. That's my favorite thing. You can literally download the Pinterest app and type in anything and everything. Like during the summer months, whenever I have a garden, I will be typing in like zucchini recipes or tomato recipes, or butternut squash or radishes or whatever you have on hand. And I love that, as far as being able to like pick one food item, and or you could type in easy meal recipes. Anybody else have great sites that they like to use for recipes? YouTube's another one too if you're a video watcher. Okay, I have some recipes that I'm going to share, guys. So if you're listening, just know that these resources are available for you. We have recipes on Instant Pot recipes, air fryer recipes, whole food recipes, vegan protein sources, and a vegetable soup recipe for general detox. These are all under the under our meal prep, under our support group page. I'll kind of pull up a few of these to show you what the recipes look like, though, in sort. Valerie says, I have a bariatric recipe board on Pinterest. Oh, I love that. I do too. I actually have a bunch of boards that I just kind of like I'll put easy meal recipes, or um, I'm trying to think what some of my boards are, like Christmas time recipes or Easter recipes or easy appetizers. And I like pin them so that I can easily pull them up. Okay, Trisha says, I love my Instapot. I use it 3 or 4 times a week. Trisha, what kind of recipes do you use for your Instapot? I'm going to pull up the ones we have here. We have poached eggs in the Instapot. I actually bought a little egg, like it's a plastic thing that you put inside the Instapot to make poached eggs. Um, also have a recipe for best steel cut oats. We have a recipe for chicken vegetable soup in the Instapot. I'm kind of scrolling through this quickly. We have one with salmon and garlic. I'm sorry, salmon with garlic, potatoes, and greens. I've also made I've made spaghetti in mine before. Honestly, you don't even have to cook your noodles or hamburger. It's so crazy. You just add all your ingredients in there. I did not believe it when I heard that you could do that, but I was like, holy cow, so easy. I think roast beef is super good in there because it cooks it to be so tender. Anything that you want to cook that makes it like really pressurized and makes just really tenderizes the meat. Trisha says a lot are soups or casseroles. I then freeze half of it for another night. Yes, I love that. That's a great meal prep idea too. Air fryer. For our air fryer recipes, we have buffalo cauliflower. I wish I had more time. I go over these. We've done these in different events, but time-wise, guys, we just got so much resources for you. Air fryer Chick-fil-A nuggets. Doesn't that sound good? I am a huge fan of Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. Oh my gosh, who else doesn't like those? Those are so freaking good. And you can make your own little change up. And then air fryer apples. Has anybody ever tried that? Making my mouth water. I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten supper yet. Okay, so we also have whole food recipes, and that includes the sesame quinoa bowl. Quinoa is one of my favorites. It's one of the um, highest grains in protein. So it's a great thing. And it's also a grain that is um, absorbed slower. I'm trying to think of the name of a carbohydrate that that slowly absorbs. So it keeps your blood sugar maintained for a longer period of time. Okay, and a taco salad. Okay, and this is something that I made kind of last night. I did use a taco shell, but you could also avoid that if you'd like. So just lots of recipes, guys. We have a vegan source guide here, the protein sources that kind of list different categories, nuts and seeds, legumes, soy products, and vegan meats. It's a couple pages, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but we do have that available. And then a delicious vegetable soup for a gentle detox. So, you guys, whole foods are one of the most healing types of things. You can add your own spices and herbs. I actually grow all my own herbs. Oh my gosh, so many different things. Um, I have. I usually during the summer months I have oregano, um, my mind's going blank. Dill, sage, lavender. I mean, you name it. I probably have about 20 different herbs. But this recipe here has all different kinds of just vegetables. And actually, guys, if there's something you don't like in a vegetable soup recipe, substitute it. Yeah, Cheryl says low glycemic. You got the right idea. That's what I was trying to go for whenever I was talking about the quinoa. Um, So add whatever you want to your vegetable soup. Make it your own. Make it delicious. Um, so good. Okay, we're going to jump back onto our meal prep stuff, and we're going to keep going because we're only on number 3. Okay, so next we're going to kind of get into some of the different categories of meal prep. So here we got vegetables. So with vegetables, you can actually cut vegetables up in bulk or buy bags of frozen vegetables. I do a little mix of both because I know that I may not be able to use all the fresh vegetables before they go bad. Right now, I have in my refrigerator carrots and I have celery because I'm wanting to make a beef stew this week. Um, those two things tend to last much longer. My spinach, when I usually buy spinach whenever I notice it's starting to get bad, I actually throw it in the freezer. So that's one good thing, guys. A lot of fresh vegetables can be frozen if you notice that you're not going to use them right away and to not allow them to go bad. So um, that is one suggestion. Or just buy them frozen, and then just add what you need into the serving container. So meal prep is actually, I mean, when we're talking about making it simple, it's about making it simple. You can even purchase already cut up vegetables. I'll do that sometimes. Sometimes I even cut up a vegetable tray just to have on hand because my husband loves vegetable trays. If you're wanting to do it yourself and save a little bit of money, things like carrots, onions, again, celery, peppers, sugar snap peas, cucumbers, radishes, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, all last up to about a week when properly refrigerated. Um, Another thing, avocados. So there are different vegetables that once you cut them up do oxidize. Avocados are one of those, but you can sprinkle them in fresh lemon or lime juice and it'll keep them from oxidizing as quickly. Another thing that you can do, another fruit that you can do that with is uh, apples and also pears, bananas. All of those things can be dipped in fresh lemon or lime juice. And actually, the fruit items, you can actually also use things like orange juice. That'll keep it from oxidizing as well. All of those different kinds of fruits. Looks like I have a couple questions. Okay, it was the support group link and way to store prepped fresh vegetables. So I actually purchased some veggie bags off of Amazon that just kind of keep them, lets them get air. Because like when you keep them in the plastic bags in your refrigerator, a lot of times they seem to get bad quicker. I will tell you, tomatoes are one of those things I used to always refrigerate, and I learned they're much better if you just keep them in your cupboard. They'll stay for a really long time. Um, so depending on the vegetable, I would actually, what I started doing with a lot of my vegetables is actually just Googling, especially since I had so much fresh garden produce this last year, which things I should refrigerate and which things I should not refrigerate. Whether you should wash them right away or wait to wash them, because those things all make a difference as far as length of time that you can, store. I hope that helps, Tammy. Okay. 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 Vegetables. When you're cooking vegetables, one thing I like to do is roast them. You can actually put them in your oven and broil them, or you can, so, if you're doing fresh vegetables, you can cut them already pre-cut, or you can cut them up yourself. You can purchase frozen ones and put them in the oven. I like to put a little bit of olive oil on them, salt and pepper. Fast cooking vegetables you could bake at the same time. Things like asparagus, okra, or mushrooms, and cherry tomatoes. Slow roasting vegetables you might want to pair together, like carrots, cauliflower, onions, potatoes, and parsnips. Anybody else really like roasting different kinds of vegetables? Does anybody make them in the air fryer? It looks like I have some comments here. It looks like Susan says, I use my Instant Pot for chicken breast made meatloaf. I use my air fryer 2 to 3 times a week. I mean, there's so many amazing recipes. Tammy says, love roasted broccoli. Oh my gosh, I think that's the best way to eat it, my own opinion. And if it's fresh, it's even better, right? Air fryer Brussels sprouts are the best. You know what, Valerie? I'm gonna actually try that. Do you put anything on those? Because I my first year last year raising Brussels sprouts in the garden. They're so cool raising them. They're almost it's like meditative because they grow in these long, tall sprouts and they have like hundreds of little Brussels sprouts and you just pull them off. Anyways, I froze a bunch of them. So I have a bunch of them in my freezer. Olive oil and salt and pepper. Yes, for almost anything. It's so simple, guys. Like that is pretty much all the seasoning you need, unless you like a little um spice like paprika, or I also like adding Parmesan cheese. My next slide here, if you're watching, has placing, like you could place your veggies on a roasting dish, bake at 400 for about 30 minutes. I pair together the broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots are my favorite pairing for um, the more faster cooking recipes. I think that was our faster. Let me look here real quick. Oh, they're slower cooking. And I put them on parchment paper. I use parchment paper for most everything because I don't like having to do a lot of cleanup. And I also use onion powder and garlic powder a ton for a lot of things. Those are usually really work well on my stomach. Here we also have, once you roast them, part of the way you can also add the Parmesan cheese right before it's done. Whitney says, I thought sauces were bad for us. So it's one of those things. So sauces some can have added sugar in them. So depending on how sensitive you are to that or whether or not you want sugar in your diet, that would be kind of your choice. Some programs may recommend that you stay away from that for that reason. Um, if I do use any of those things, I tend to use just a small amount, but that's just me. I don't use a large amount, so it's not enough to kind of get my stomach upset or anything like that. Susan said a roasted asparagus with fresh cracked black pepper and some garlic. Ooh, oh my gosh, yes. Does anybody else raise asparagus? Asparagus is so good fresh. Angela said Ziploc seal and steam bags are great for veggies and meat. Cut up goodies, freeze and microwave. Yes. I've not tried those before, the Ziploc seal and steam bags, but I'll have to remember that whenever I go grocery shopping. I didn't know that they even made something like that. I know I buy some of my vegetables in bags that can be steamed, like they're made to just put the whole bag in there and steam them, which makes it super easy. I also have a vacuum packer. Anybody else use one of those? They're amazing, guys, because they actually you just you put your fresh vegetables in there and then you press a button and it takes all the air out and it keeps it frozen without getting freezer burn. Amazing, amazing. Okay. Mason salad jars. Here we have Mason salad jars. Um, you could actually these are the ones I have on our pictures here have are in a quart size, but you could make them in a smaller size, which would be like a pint size, or you wouldn't have to necessarily put them in a glass jar like I have. You could actually just put them in some type of either glass dish or some type of a refrigerated container. And if you don't want it to get soggy, what's recommended is if you are putting dressing, either wait to add it or put it at the bottom of the jar. And then stir your produce like cucumbers and peppers next. Save the leafy lettuce and sprouts and things like that. And things like quinoa or grains on top. And then you can actually place a little small paper towel at the top to absorb extra moisture. So you could actually do multiple of these and have them in your refrigerator. So it just makes it easy, pop and go if you work outside the home or even if you work inside the home like me. I a lot of times will make things up ahead of time. Gwen says, I love my food saver. I use it every day. That's what I have too as a food saver. Oh my goodness. Works so good. And my husband, we live on a farm. And so we have a lot of beef and we have I think he shot probably like 7 different deer this year. We eat a lot of venison, and so he can actually he can clean the deer and then put it in freezer pack bags, and it stores wonderful, usually for at least a year. I mean, it's incredible. It takes all the extra air out and it keeps it from getting freezer burnt. So next is fruit. So fruit is another thing like vegetables. You can buy it fresh, you can buy it frozen. I tend to buy mine, a lot of times we'll buy it fresh, but if it starts getting to that overripe or to the period where I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use it, I'll throw it in the freezer. Things that you can actually put in the refrigerator to the freezer would be things like strawberries or pineapple, blueberries. Grapes is a fan favorite for freezing grapes. A lot of people like to do that. Bananas. Bananas are one of those things because my bananas will go bad pretty easily, pretty quickly. And so if I notice they're getting to that stage, I'll actually just put them in the freezer. And I use a lot of those frozen fruits for my shakes because if you add that to a shake, guys, it's like having a frozen amount of deliciousness. Like your protein shakes, it's amazing. And it kind of like it's to me it's better than adding ice. Gwen says you can buy meat in the big pack, then separate it into servings and freeze with vacuum pack. I live alone, so it's a huge cost savings. That is a great idea. I was actually talking to my daughter this last week about that because she has a roommate, but she fixes most of her own meals, and it's hard when you're a one-time person, one person, and you have such big things. So that is a fantastic idea. I love that. Donna says, I cook them and can them and last longer for some fruits. Oh, great idea. We didn't even talk about that. I didn't put that on my slides either. So that's a great idea. Canning. I have done some canning in my lifetime. Um, I've not done too much with fruits, mostly vegetables and meats, but it is a great idea. I know you can even actually can like soups and things like that as well. And they last so long, guys. Here next, number 7 is superfoods. Um, with superfoods, things like power bars, yogurt, mozzarella cheese, flaxseed, granola, peanut butter, almonds, walnuts, cashews, pistachios, cranberries, maybe even added some indulgent dark chocolate. What is your favorite snack? Like, tell me what your favorite superfoods or snacks are. Um, Donna says, I cook them and can them to last longer for some fruits. I usually do yogurt. I've never heard of canning yogurt. Are you talking about canning yogurt? Or putting them in yogurt. Interesting. And Anne says, when you're going to vacuum seal portions of meat, put the marinade Italian dressing in with the meat before sealing. That way, when it's thawing, it's also marinating. Holy cow, what an amazing idea. That is awesome. Trisha says, we raise chicken, so I can chicken meat and chicken soup. It's so handy. Oh, I love that. We live with our sister and brother-in-law have lots of chicken, so I'm going to have to mention that to them. Canning and storing in fridge, and I've been canning meat, Denise says. Yes, guys. I mean, so many great ideas. Sharing them with each other. I love that. I do have a handout on healthy fall snacks and snacks on the go. It's 25 plus snacks on the go. This is actually one of our events that we did on the past. Guys, a lot of our events can be found. We have over 200 replays available on our ProCare Health YouTube channel, which I will be showing you next. But I just wanted to mention some of these fall snacks are things like hard-boiled eggs, dehydrated meat sticks. I'll just go through a few of them, canned chicken or tuna. So that's just a taste of what that looks like. Go back to this, and we're getting kind of close on time. If we go over an hour, guys, you're welcome to stay on the call, or I know if you need to jump off, I certainly understand. But I'm going to kind of smooth through this. Smoothies in a flash. Guys, who all like smoothies? I absolutely love smoothies. You could make with vanilla protein powder, chocolate protein powder, or whatever. And there's so many different recipes out there. Like, just Google it. Pinterest is a great suggestion for that. I have a little short video. I think it's like 2 minutes or something like that. We may just go ahead and play that real quickly. There's lots of ideas going on as far as snacks. Gwen says her favorite is a sliced apple with a little cheese, cheddar or berries, and a little protein granola, protein ice cream or popsicles. Billy says, can you cut a potato in chips sizes and season and bake it? Certainly you can. You could actually put it in the air fryer. I would say if you do that, I have a spritzer, and I use my spritzer with olive oil, and I spritz a lot of my stuff that goes in the air fryer. Certainly great idea. Whitney asked, do we get credit for this class? If you are here for attendance, pre-surgery, if your program is part of who I send our attendance list to, ask them. That's the only way to know, really. Ask them. But I usually send the attendance in about a week. If you're listening to the replay and you need certification for attendance, I can't certify it if you've watched it on YouTube, only on the Zoom replays. This event will be on demand until the end of the month. So if you want to come back and rewatch it, you can. My email is painb@procarenow.com in case you have questions. Okay, I'm going to pop on this video And I actually have to stop sharing my screen for a second because I have to check an audio button in order to do that. So I'm going to press share screen and let me find the audio. Share sound. Try it again. Okay, I'm going to try this, guys, and then you guys give me feedback if you can hear this. So, because it's showing me a very different way of doing this than it normally does. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to do it. We'll try it here. Okay, I'm going to pop on and we're going to go to, okay, I'm going to play just a little bit and then I want you guys to comment and tell me if you can hear. Can you hear? Let me know. You could hear the sound from the video, it looks like. Okay, let's try that again then. You're sharing your computer sound. Okay. Could you see the video? I hope you could see the video. You could not see the video. Okay. Let me go back, try this again. We may just, I tell you what, instead of taking time up to do this, I am going to show you how to find our videos. Since it's, for whatever crazy reason tonight, it's not allowing me to share. Okay, let's okay. I am, goodness sakes. Okay, I am having trouble getting back. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. Okay, I think I figured out a little bit here. Thanks for being patient with me. I'm going to show you how to find our videos. Okay, I'm going to go back to basic here and I'm going to share with you. So when you go to the ProCare Health website, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that. Somebody had asked about where to find everything. It's procarenow.com. When you go under the Berry Connected tab, guys, and Berry Connected, when you go there, you're going to see all of our month's events. Every single month, we change these out. So this month, you're going to see all the events. It takes it a second sometimes to pop up. This is our event from this week. We had Sarah talk about the lymphatic system. Next week will be Kristen. She's going to talk about the importance of relationships with self on the bariatric journey in our class tonight. So underneath that is links to our podcast, Very Connected, and to our YouTube channel. So if you click on the YouTube, you can open it up in a new link. And when you do that, it will bring you to the page where it has all of our recipes. We actually have that strawberry cheesecake recipe on here. And so when you get here, you could use the search button and type in strawberry cheesecake, or you can go under our playlist and we actually have a recipe tab. So you just look for ProCare recipes. But yeah, we have all different kinds of videos on there, guys, all different kinds of things. So another resource for you to check out. Subscribe there too. We'll copy that. You can subscribe in order to get notifications when new videos are posted. So stop sharing and I'll place that in the comment section. We're almost done here, guys. Anybody have any other questions or comments? I'm posting the link for the YouTube and also for our ProCare site. Okay. Okay, guys. We're just about there. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. I just got a few more resources for you before we end. And want to mention, a lot of times fun things to do for meal prepping is to do breakfast options. One of my favorites is this muffin tins. Somebody was talking about chickens. My brother and sister-in-law had chickens and they gave us 4 dozen eggs. I think it was a week or two ago. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to use all these. So I made a bunch of these muffin tins. The recipe again is linked and you can follow up with that. We also have some high protein, high energy meals and recipes are linked for chili lime chicken and egg roll bowl. So those are two amazing different things. And then for a bonus, we have a healthy food swaps guide that's also linked underneath of that as well. So the whole food recipes we have, the food swaps, and guys, that's a lot of stuff. The video I was trying to show Tammy was a video on making a cheesecake uh, protein shake, and it is on the YouTube channel. Let me see if I just type in, if you type it in the search box, you could type in cheesecake, if I can spell it, and it should pop up. So strawberry cheesecake protein shake recipe is the one that has that. So I can copy that too for you. Put it in the chat box. And this presentation, guys, all of it can be found. I'm going to go ahead for anybody who jumped on late. If you go to the ProCare Health website, procarenow.com, you go over to the Berry Connected tab, and under Berry Connected, there's a tab that says Support Group Handouts. I have to move my bar here. Support Group Handouts, and when you get to that tab, Support Group Handouts, you're going to go a little about maybe halfway down the page, and there's going to be a title that says Meal Prep and Meal Planning. Meal prep tips and recipes, and all of these guides that we use tonight are all listed there. Okay. Plus, if you want to look at any other ones, you certainly can as well, obviously. So, just to kind of summarize, guys, as far as what we've talked about tonight, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Kind of just see me here on screen, and I'm going to summarize the meal prep ideas that we had. So the big things are, if you're meal prepping and you want to kind of go the next level, the big thing is keep an ongoing shopping list or a shopping list, and we provided some shopping lists for you. We also talked about, making sure you're on budget for those things. We talked about simple menu templates that you can make ahead to try to get an idea of the type of foods you want. If you're struggling and having a hard way to go, just think of your favorite foods. Maybe list 5 favorite foods, 5 favorite recipes, to be able to make your grocery shopping easier. Meal prepping meats is a great way ahead of time, or buying already pre-done up meats or canned meats or frozen meats that you can just pop in. We talked about portion sizing your vegetables, and using either fresh or frozen vegetables, baking them in the oven or air fryer. We talked about making Mason's jar salads, or like salads within some type of little reusable container. We talked about slicing, portioning raw or frozen fruits. We also talked about superfoods and snacks, like what are your favorites, and some ideas with that. And we talked about making smoothies. You can either, when you make your smoothies, you can make them ahead. I do have friends that make them in the refrigerator for several days. For me, I like making them fresh, but you can even freeze them. Freezing them is another great way to make ahead. And then just, you know, thinking of some like little options like our little breakfast muffins for make aheads for breakfast, or pre-portioning high protein, high energy meals. So that was a lot, guys, a whole lot of information. And I will say too, on our website, if you are looking for recipes on that same page, which had the handouts, we do have a whole list of recipes on that same page. So if you guys are needing attendance for this, if you jumped on late, the attendance, if your facility gets a list of attendance, will be sent that within a week after this live event to accompany for the replays on the Zoom webinar. Thank you guys. I hope this was helpful. I so appreciate each and every one of you. It looks like I do have a couple questions that I'm going to try to get to. Tammy says, what's the best way to store prep fresh vegetables? I think I answered that. And then the other one is there a way to save the chat so I can see all the links at a later time? I don't know that you can save the chat box, but I can post the link for the handouts here again, the handouts page, if that's helpful, so that you can just link right to that, and all of the handouts should be on that page for you, if that's helpful. Somebody said you can copy and paste the chat. That's great. I had no idea. You guys are tech savvy. I love that. But thank you, everyone. You guys are wonderful. I love you. Come and join us again. I do have one promotion that I just want to mention one time again for anybody who jumped on late. ProCare Health is our amazing sponsor. They help bring these events to life and host me. So what I want to say is right now for a Valentine special, we're having a flash sale. Be our Valentine. You get a free bag of chocolates, which is our calcium dark chocolate bars. They look like this, guys. And they come in little squares. And you get a bag of those with a purchase of $50. So it automatically gets added to your cart. So yum, yum. So make sure and do that before the 16th. That's when the sale ends. I'm not sure if it's the end of the day on the 16th or beginning of the day. They didn't tell me that. Okay, so tonight would be a great time to order if that's something you're interested in. If you're wanting to ship to Canada, what I would recommend is calling our office. The number is listed at the very top of our website. It's 877-822-5808. Again, 877-822-5808. And they can help you. The best way to do that was shipping to Canada. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad that was helpful. Well, continue to join us. I also want to mention, guys, we just started a Facebook page. Join us there after these events. So if you're on Facebook, we have a Berry Connect Facebook page, which you just ask to be our friend, and we will be your friend. And then we also have a Facebook group, which is where you can chat with all your friends, and it's called Berry Connected. And basically, it is a private group, and you ask to join. They just ask us a few simple little questions, and we will get you in there, and you guys can chit chat amongst yourselves after these events, before these events, and we have lots of before and after pictures and lots of wonderful little tips and recipes and things that are always being posted in there too as well. So join us on those as well. So that ends our event for tonight. I just want to say thank you guys each for joining us and continue to be part of our community. We love you, and I wish you the very best. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening and weekend as well. Bye, everybody.